Good morning, it's March 24th. I apologize for not walking yesterday. I didn't want to walk in the morning because of the ice situation, and by afternoon I was too engrossed in what I was working on to want to pull myself away from it and go out and walk. So I really need to do it first thing in the morning. It's warmer today, +6 as I start, so there shouldn't be any ice to worry about anywhere. And it's mostly melting off the sidewalks anyway. And I'm just going to walk along College. We'll walk on the north side down to Winnipeg, and then Winnipeg Avenue, Winnipeg Street I mean, not the city of Winnipeg, and then back again on the other side, kind of in around behind the buildings over there. That's the plan. Just make sure that focused in the distance there. There might be a bit of ice still hiding in the shadows here. I have to be careful of. No, even there doesn't seem to be any, so that's good. That's the scary bit, is the ice that's it'll be in the shadows, you don't see it, it just looks like water, and then you step on it and your foot goes out from under you and then down you go, and we don't want to do that. So the snow is, still here, but it is going bit by bit. Hi, Brian. So let's see, on the Kickstarter front, I'm running a Kickstarter, if you're just new here, featuring authors who are guests on my Aurora Award-winning podcast, The World Shapers, science fiction and fantasy authors, and this is my third one I've kickstarted. Kickstarter has 2 weeks to go. The goal is $12,000, but I have to do better than that. But anyway, it's $12,000 is the goal, and just this morning it topped $10,000 Canadian. So less than $2,000 to go, or less than $1,500 US. So feeling pretty confident we'll get there. Then I want to get more than the goal, because the goal just sort of pays the authors and doesn't cover much of the cost of actually producing the book. I'd like to have considerably more than that to help cover those costs. But the book will happen. It seems certain now. So that'll be 3 years in a row I've done it, and that means next year I'll be kickstarting Volume 4, featuring fourth-year guests of the podcast. I'm interviewing somebody today. I have a new episode coming up this weekend. Huge author I'm talking to next week, Sheridan Kenyon, New York Times bestseller. I've got more lined up down the road, so the podcast continues, and all of those authors will get invited to be part of Shapers of Worlds Volume 4 next year. Then I've been doing other publishing stuff. I'm republishing a book called Stay through Shadowpaw Press. Stay is a lovely YA or middle grade, depending on how you want to define that, novel written in verse. It came out from Kato Books a couple of years ago. It's written by Catherine Lawrence. Kato Books is gone, and one of the things Shadowpaw Press is moving into is, through an imprint called Shadowpaw Press Reprise, is republishing books that were orphaned by other publishers, including Kato Books. I already have my own Shards of Excalibur series, and now I'm going to do Stay, and there's another one that I have to look at, another poetry book, so that's all exciting. So I was doing the layout on that yesterday, so I get to the page proof point where I can send that to the author, and then once it's gone through that, it can get published. I also have a science fiction novel called Do a Tarot by Brad C. Anderson I'm putting out through that imprint. And then the other side is the original work, and I've got 2 novels in the works for that. Thickwood by Gail M. Smith and The Emir's Falcon by Matt Hughes. So I got a lot of things. I feel like I'm juggling a lot of plates, I guess. And I'd like to be doing more of my own writing, but again, I've been focused on other tasks, including editing Spring, which is a magazine of emerging writers in Saskatchewan. So that's in progress as well. It's getting quite windy. It seems to be clouding over from behind me, so I don't know. I don't know if there's precipitation in the forecast. I never look. You can see the sun is kind of going behind the clouds there. I'm just going to walk down this side of college all the way to Winnipeg, and then walk down the other side coming back. It's always interesting seeing the sun up there, just kind of a pale disk behind the clouds. Probably doesn't show up on the screen, and actually the pale disk is, no, it's still there, just above the trees there. Don't know if it shows up on the camera or not. Well, I don't think I have to worry about ice over here. Another week or two, and I should be able to just walk in my runners again instead of my boots, which will make me feel more light-footed. All the way down to Winnipeg is about half the length of one of my usual walks, so, and it's a little slower down the other side because of the way I'm going to go, so it should be a normal length walk this morning. Here are lots of geese. There's a picture of old houses and office buildings along here. This is both. It's the, among other things, Regina Symphony Orchestra is in there. Good morning, Madeline and Victoria. Yeah, +6 right now. And hi, Noella. Yes, that was a familiar house back there. So nice to have this clear pavement to walk on. Thought it was going to be sunny, but that didn't last long. It is windy. I think when I turned and walked the other way, well, it was windy around the tall buildings, so there's definitely wind blowing. At the moment it looks still, but another fine old house. Now has a doctor's office in it. Quite heavily renovated, that one. I was in that on the Davin School home tour. It was still a house, but now it seems to be just business. This one, I don't think anybody's living in it. Ooh. That one's still a house. A dwelling, I mean. They're all still houses. Of course, over there is the credit union building, and then Dark Hall next to it, which is now back in operation, or almost. There's an official opening event coming up in April that we're going to. I think there's actually things happening there even before that, but looking forward to that. And I think do it with class. Young People's Theater that I used to be on the board of, and that my good friend Robert Urson is artistic director of, and that used to perform in there. I think they're going to have, will be part of the entertainment that evening. My daughter was a member of Do It With Class for many years. Used to be a house, then it was a funeral home, now it's a house again. That's the college building over there. There's Dark Hall. That was the original University of Regina building. Regina College it was called back then. Now it's called the College Building, but it's still part of the University of Regina. And the Conservatory of Music is in there. Performing Arts, sorry. Conservatory of Performing Arts. When I come back, I'll probably be walking behind those buildings, I think. Now, this grand old house is not a house anymore, it's a lawyer's office. This is where Central Collegiate used to be. Now there's 3 condo complexes, and we actually have a condo in that one there. This one was built first in '95. So it's still pretty new. It's only 27 years old, I guess. It's a nice addition to the streetscape here. Over there is the sound stage. I see the government just announced $8 million more in film and television funding through Creative Saskatchewan. There used to be a tax credit, and we had a booming industry here. The government dropped that, and the industry basically went away. And I remember it well, because it seems to be par for the course with my career. I was actually meeting with a local producer. I was supposed to have a meeting with them and talk about my various books and, see if there's anything there they might be interested in. They didn't show up to the meeting. And when I followed up, I discovered that very morning, the tax credit had gone away. And that was that. Maybe I should be reaching out to local production companies again, if I can find any. Not a bad idea. I should do that. Especially the Shards of Excalibur. I mean, come on. It's a YA fantasy series. It's set here in Regina. At least portions of it are. It starts here. A lot of it happens here. Teen, adventure, fantasy. A few special effects, but even special effects aren't as scary as they used to be, thanks to computers. Parts of it are set elsewhere in the world, but most of it could easily be shot here and made to look like other parts of the world, I think. Okay, the mountain scenes might be difficult, but you just have to go one province over to get those. So any movie producers listening to that, it's an old apartment building. I always kind of like the design of it. It's kind of interesting. Any movie producers, get in touch. We'll talk. I have so many projects, not the word. Products doesn't sound quite the right word. Properties, that's the word. Speaking of property, I remember when they hoisted that house up and dug out the basement and put it back down. Another old house. It's a business now. It used to be a coffee shop, but I think it's a computer repair place now. Okay, then we'll go on down a few more blocks to Winnipeg Street. I like that apartment building with its kind of Spanish look. This is Broad Street, so downtown is down that way. There'll be a left turn signal we'll have to wait for too. And then it'll be our turn. There we go. See how much snow is gone? Just the piles of it from when the sidewalks were cleared still remaining in this one. In front of this one, that dirty pile there. But I do like the looks of this building. Never been in it. Don't know what the apartments are like. Lots of grand old houses along here. A lot more on this side of Broad are houses. They're not businesses. People live in these. A lot of them are in my book. Not a lot, but many. Is that a difference between a lot and a many? I don't know. Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw, published by Red Deer Press, which is still available. A lot of the many, again, maybe it's not a lot, but some buildings in it are gone now. Others aren't. A lot of the information came from China Historical Society's walking tours. I took those and adapted and expanded and altered as I saw fit. I guess that's still a house. I've been in that house. It used to belong to Ernie Cassian. Oh, I don't know. The lighting in there doesn't look house-like. So maybe it's a business now. Who was a music director who was music director for some shows I was in the 90s with Regina Lyric Musical Theater. We'll get over to the other side as I come back. We're going to that light down there in the distance. In the distance, you'll see Grosvenor House. A small green light that marks Winnipeg Street's intersection. That didn't work. You can rent a place in Grosvenor House. St. Chad's over there. Used to be a theological seminary, I guess. Now it's condos. I'm really enjoying this walking on bare pavement. I think this alone is enough to start me walking more regularly first thing in the morning, knowing that the pavements are clear. Been doing this for more than a year now. Huh. I don't remember what used to be there, but it's not there anymore. It's a big lot. Did it have an apartment building? Did it have multiple dwellings and something else is supposed to be built there? I don't know. And you have these old houses, and then you have the occasional not very interesting apartment building that pops up in the middle of them. What the zoning was at the time that allowed that, or still is. Now here's a big one I've been in up here. Has a plaque and everything. It's been here. It's quite an interesting old house. The designs on the front here, a big porch or veranda. It's the Flood residence, built in 1913 for William H. Flood, owner of the Flood Land Company, prominent land broker and promoter during Regina's early development. I was in there on a home tour as well. It has this porte cochere over here. Very nice. And has been well kept up over the years too. Balfour Collegiate over there. waiting by the kids waiting at the bus stop. Don't know why. Shouldn't they be in school? We used to rehearse in Balfour way back in the same time that Ernie Cassian was our music director. I think that was the first high school I was ever in Regina, and when I was in high school we came up here for a provincial, well, it wasn't provincials, I guess. Maybe it was. Debate tournament anyway. I don't think it was provincials. I think we just came up to take part in the debate tournament, at which I did pretty well, as I recall. I did well in debate. In fact, I qualified from my individual, not as my team was losing, but I was getting good marks. Some of the time the team won. But anyway, I actually qualified high enough to go to nationals, but I hadn't competed in enough open competitions. So even though I placed really high in the province, I had gone straight into open. I never did the novice or intermediate or whatever the other levels were. And I got shut out of going to Ottawa for national debate. Would have been my first time in Ottawa, but it didn't happen. Shades of back when I was in elementary school in Texas, and we were going to go to Six Flags over Texas. We were going to take the train, go down to the amusement park, and not enough people put in the money, and it was canceled. I still remember that bitter disappointment. Got a bike out of it. I think my parents took the money that they were going to spend on the trip to Six Flags and bought me a bicycle, my first bicycle. So there was that. Then I learned to ride with that bicycle. That's the same one we brought up here, the red one. I used to call it the Fireball X15, I think, because of the I hadn't thought about that for years. Super Marionation. If anybody remembers that, they're as old as I am. These were puppet shows, old science fiction stories with marionettes, which sounds silly, but the special effects were, with models and everything, were actually quite fun. And one of them, I'm sure, was called Fireball X15 or XI5 or something like that. And so I named my red bicycle that. One I learned to ride on. I had it for a few years, and then I think I inherited my older brother's 3-speed. And then once I was at the Weyburn Review, somewhere along in there I bought a 10-speed. I bought 2 bicycles in Regina and they were both stolen, so I gave up. I haven't ridden a bicycle in years. They took my helmet last time too, and it was hard to find a helmet that would fit me. So when they stole that, they made it even less likely I was going to buy another bicycle. Ooh, looks like we just hit this just about perfectly. Yep. All right, we'll start down the other side here, then we'll dip in behind the buildings once I'm a little further down. As we turn the corner, now we're heading home, so it was 24 minutes here. Yeah, a little longer getting back, so it should work out to about a normal length walk. Oh, there's the breeze I was hearing, and it's definitely clouded over. This Miller here, there used to be a daycare in it, so Alice's first daycare was in here. I still remember how big hug she gave me. She wouldn't even have been 2. I don't know, I was away doing a show or something. Maybe that's the year I was doing Estevan. Service Valley Theatre, I think it was. And I came and picked her up after I'd been gone for a while. Oh, the huge hug I got. Still remember that. Yeah. bit of puddle here. Not quite as dry on this side. The other side gets more sun. So walk carefully so I don't splash myself. Oh, that's a big puddle. I don't think I want to walk through that. Let's go on the grass. So Miller and Alpha are next to each other in my Shards of Excalibur, the aforementioned Shards of Excalibur fantasy series. I think this one's called St. Dunstan. And I called this one Oscana Collegiate. I didn't use the real schools because I took some liberties with their layouts. A lot of water on this side. I'll have to avoid. And I called this one St. Dunstan Miller there because he had a connection to King Arthur stories. And of course the whole book is my take on King Arthur, in a way, inspired by Arthur himself. Doesn't make an appearance exactly, but the Lady of the Lake is kind of the main driving force of the story, and Merlin in his modern day guise as Rex Major. This isn't too deep. Maybe if I go up here get around it on this side. That's a big puddle. Gotta avoid. There, it's kind of the only ice I've been on. So again, here's Balfour or Oscana Collegiate in my books. I think the first show I auditioned for with Regina Lyric Light Opera, as it was then, Regina Lyric Musical Theatre now, was here for The Music Man. That's where I met Colin Brewer, whom I then worked with on stage and at CBC, because for years, many years, because he used to host the afternoon edition on CBC Radio, and I did a science column in there for, well, with him, at least 15 years, 17 years, a long time. And then I did a few shorter things because they suddenly decided I'd been on long enough. And then it kind of all went away as they stopped using freelancers so much. I missed that weekly science column. I did it freelance for a while, but a couple of newspapers were taking it. But once they quit taking it, there wasn't any point in my doing it just for my handful of people who would open the emails I was sending out. So I stopped it several years ago now. Next you get this seniors center here. And this is where, somewhere up here, I will go down to my left and get off of College. So we're not just walking down this long straight street, sidewalk. I think I might be able to go down. What do you think? There's still a fence there. Oh, I thought I saw snowshoe hare, which I definitely saw the last time I came this way, but that wasn't what it was. It's just a garbage bag. Yeah, I can't really go down that way. This is the Capel House, care home, that's what it's called, Capel House. And then this is the Diocese of Capel, Anglican Church, that old house, so that's why it's Capel House. There are sidewalks in here, but I don't know. Oh, here they go. This one looks clear. We'll take it. Clear-ish. Not exactly clear, but clear-ish. We'll go down here. really clear at all. Looks like it was cleared once during the winter, maybe twice, but not recently. So, managed to find myself a patch of ice after all. Quite a nasty one too. Well, this is no good. I'm going to take to the snow here. Let's just go over this way. Oh, that was deeper than I thought, as they often are. I thought that was going to be shallow, and it's almost knee deep. So, snow in my boots again. Thought I would avoid that today. At least I didn't just wear my runners, which is what I thought of doing. Anyway, a little closer to St. Chad's here. Hi, Greg. I don't know. I think my walks in Regina are every bit as interesting as the sinking of the Titanic. Oh, there's a snowshoe here. You can probably hear the wind now. I can certainly feel it. I wonder if the temperature is dropping, actually. So you see the St. Chad's revitalization project. There's some condos, I guess, back there. Doctors' offices mostly, I think. Rehabilitation kind of things in here. That was part of St. Chad's there. Prairie Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. There you go. Which is what my daughter's going into as a kinesiology major. Sports medicine. Specifically interested in dancers. Working with dancers. We'll go down here. We'll go down the what's it called? Is it Badam Street? And I'll cross over then behind the buildings on South Albert as we continue to make our way home. Or as I continue to make my way home. You probably already are home. I didn't expect to have to walk through any snow, but I did. So we're not quite completely snow-free and ice-free yet. Two geese, probably a mating pair, because they're up to that sort of stuff right now. Geese. Yeah, Badam Boulevard, I was right, named after Mike Badam, former city councillor. He was killed in a car accident, if I remember right. We'll go up here and cross at the light. So various businesses in here, drugstores. Another health and rehab center here. Clothing, salons, that sort of thing. And there is a coffee shop on this corner. Called the Naked Bean. I usually call my fictional coffee shop, I think it shows up in more than one book. I'll have a coffee shop and I'll call it the Human Bean. I guess if you combine it, call it the Naked Human Bean. You might get a lot of customers, but perhaps not what you're looking for. That's the CBC across from us, where I used to go for the science column when I was on the afternoon edition every week. I didn't bring a hat either because I thought it was so warm. I think it's gotten colder And the wind is blowing from the northwest, where colder air usually comes from. Oh well, I will survive. I will survive. Now we'll go down by the aforementioned soundstage. Back on Broad Street now. Those are quite new, those buildings. When I first moved here, there was a big community garden and what was just an empty lot. So all those buildings over there, and there's a retirement residence down the way, and all that's new since then. You used to be able, you could go straight through there, but then they built the soundstage, they connected it to CBC, so you can't do that anymore. That was a while ago too. There's the main entrance to the CBC building. And here's the soundstage. It was a college building. Used to have a theater department in here. I still remember going to a play there was an upstairs theater, steeply raked audience, looking down on the stage. Back in, at one point it was the teachers' college, and during the war I think they used it for officer training or something like that. The Second World War. Hopefully we're not soon saying during the war, the current war. Canada Post. Also in this building is Sympia, the Saskatchewan, used to be motion picture, but now it's media production, something like that. Sympia anyway. And Sask Books, the Publishers Association that I'm not just a member of, but vice president of at the moment. Only the tower there is still the original inside. The rest of it is just a shell, all brand new building behind the bricks, behind the facade. Oh, and Creative Saskatchewan's in there too, from whom I just received a grant. Marketing and production. Oh, look out, look out. I was afraid the bunny was going to run in front of the truck, but he thought better of it. Now hopefully I don't chase him into the traffic. I'll go over here, give him a wide berth. Oh, here comes a dog. That will alarm him if she comes this way, but she's crossing the street. All right, we'll go down this way behind the college building. Big puddle on that corner. It's because the storm drains are, some of them are still plugged. Pothole season. It's a freeze-thaw cycle, makes those things pop up every year. If you get a crack, it freezes, it makes a wider crack, it freezes, fills up and freezes. Cars drive over it, pieces of pavement break off, and pretty soon you have a pothole. Or it gets eaten out from underneath as well. We have a lot of them. It looks like if you didn't know the scale, you'd think it was a First World War battlefield, pockmarked with shell holes. Aerial view. Again, that's the sound stage and where it connects to the CBC over there. This is where Corner Gas was shot, if you ever watched that program. And several movies have been shot here. Okay, back onto a sidewalk now. It's a pretty new sidewalk, so it shouldn't have any potholes. This is the back side of the college building. Until they redid it, and it's been heavily renovated. This was kind of just, there were some caragana bushes and kind of a dirt path you could drive up to get to a back entrance, but so all of this landscaping here, which as you can see looks very new, is very new. We'll walk up here right behind the building. We gave money to the project here, so there's a couple of rooms. One room has my wife and my names on it, and one has, up there in the corner of that building, there's a dance studio which has my mother-in-law's name on it, Dr. Alice Goodfellow. Because my wife's family has like a 5-generation connection to all of this. Her grandmother, Nancy Goodfellow, was a very talented classical singer and very involved with the Regina Musical Club. She and Sammy, her husband, were very involved with the Regina Little Theatre, Symphony. They were notable citizens of Regina, more notable than I am. Now, I don't think I want to go that way. Still fencing back here as I continue to work on landscaping between the buildings. Little Theatre still gives an award called the Sammy for kind of service to the organization, which gets its name from Margaret Ann's grandfather, Samson J. Goodfellow. And of course, I published his First World War memoirs, One Lucky Devil, through Shadowpaw Press. Available everywhere. A bit muddy on the sidewalk right here. Go around that. And there's the back of Dark Hall and the new credit union building next to it. Now, all this work happening over here is the new pool, Saskatchewan pool. There was an old pool which they tore out. They're completely redoing with water slides and all that stuff. I don't think it's going to be ready in time for the start of swimming season though. Quite a ways to go, although there is a building over there now. I see, starting to show up. See where the change rooms and so forth are, I would guess. That's the back entrance to the Dark Hall lobby. Geese having something to say. Thank you for those comments. How do you feel about spring? Honk, 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 honk. Oh, that's what I thought you'd say. Now, somewhere like here, I can get on the path that I want. Yeah, over there. Oop, little ice there. Or maybe just mud. Mud can be as slippery as ice. There's what they're building. Now, if I didn't have all that snow, I'd walk over behind the Royal Saskatchewan Museum over there, but there's no good way to get there right now. So we'll go down here and cross Albert like one has to do eventually. More puddles. There's a jogger. Dogs and joggers, the two constants of any walk near the lake. Oh, we watched the whole thing of Corner Gas, but I don't know that I have a favorite episode. We've been watching, spreading it out, so we don't quite done yet, but watching Corner Gas Animated, which is the final iteration of Corner Gas. It'll be, I think we have maybe 2 episodes left to watch. Actually, I guess my favorite Corner Gas episode was the one I was in, and it was the last one. I don't remember the episode that much. They were wondering why Brett was sneaking off to the city, and it turned out he was doing comedy at a club. And so they shot part of that at, what's it called? The name has escaped me. Anyway, at a club down, the Exchange, that's what it's called, down in the Warehouse District. And I got cast as an extra because they wanted extras that had never been in a Corner Gas episode before. And if you watch it, the 2 cops go into the club. They go by a bulletin board with, stuff that's coming up, and there's a guy standing there with a beer in his hand with his back to them. That's me. I may have been the only Regina actor that never got anything more than that. We have a friend who was a regular extra, and I knew people who appeared in episodes. And it may have something to do with the fact that the director of Corner Gas, David Story, auditioned for me at Little Theatre. I had no idea who he was, and I went another route. I went with Mark Claxton, also a very fine actor, who's gone on to have an acting career. And anyway, I don't really think that had anything to do with it. But who knows, had I cast him in my play, I would have gotten to know him, and maybe I would have gotten cast in something in Corner Gas. Who knows? I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. No, it's an outdoor pool, I think. I don't believe it's indoor at all. Still just a summertime pool. Pretty sure. Pretty darn sure. I won't try going under. Last time I looked down at the underpass, it was flooded, so maybe it's open now, but I'll take the crosswalk over here. Oh, I just pressed the button, so hopefully it changes about the time I get there, and not too much before. It can be a long wait here. There it goes. That was good, didn't have to wait at all. Albert Street Bridge. I mentioned Charge of Excalibur back at the beginning of the walk. This is where one of the characters lives, is down here in Harrington Mews. Wally Knight lives in a fictional house down at the end of that cul-de-sac. Again, they shot a movie or a TV series based on it. You could film it right on location. Almost home. How long have I walked? Maybe about 55 minutes when I get home, so perfect length. And back to work. I have a podcast interview to do this afternoon as well. And we'll see where the Kickstarter's at. It was at just over $10,000 when I set out. See if we picked up anything while I was walking. Might or might not. You get slow days, and then you get days where unexpectedly you get hundreds of dollars. You just can't tell what's going to happen. Oh, 2 weeks to go. Pretty darn sure we're going to fund. So the goal is 12,000 and we're less than 2,000 away. That looks just slippery enough. I'll be careful around it. Up to Leopold Crescent. Oh, it'll just be different. I'll walk along Leopold here and I can stop at my usual stopping point. Will only add a few meters to the length of the walk. And the sidewalk's better here than the alley is. Still probably 2 months before the trees start to leaf out. 6 weeks anyway. Probably start seeing buds in a month or so. But it's usually kind of Victoria Day weekend before they seem to be kind of fully leafed. Hopefully we don't get another big dump of snow, but we very well might. Could come anytime in April or even in May. Always discouraging if the snow is completely gone and then you get more. But it usually happens, so it would not surprise me at all. At all. Right, we'll turn right here onto Retallick. Now they've got their main walk is cleared. Why did they not clear this little bit? I smell a fireplace. Well, I hope it's a fireplace. There's our stop sign up there. I know I've never met Leslie Nielsen. Is he still alive? Okay, there we are. I will stop here. So thanks for walking with me, and I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday walk around the lake. Bye for now.